These are 10 GPU mineable coins for the year 2024. So real quick, I am going to put these in numbers. So we're going to start with number 10, but I don't actually think that these are 10 through 1. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to give you some options for 2024. I know a lot of people are coming back to mining in the year 2024. Why? Because the money's coming back. So what we're going to do, number 10 is Caspa Fork. So if you don't know what Caspa is, this right here, you need to look into Caspa. It is a top 50 coin. This was GPU mineable, became a huge deal. So basically what has happened with Caspa is that no longer is it GPU mineable. It's been overran by ASICs, but there's a lot of these newer coins. Take Carlson, for example. This has been the top performer. This was, to my knowledge, the first Caspa Fork. It's really taken off. It's gone up to 26 cents, give or take. It's gone down a lot now. I think that these forks are going to continue to go down as long as Caspa goes down. It kind of follows and mirrors what Caspa is doing. But if you think that Caspa over here is going to do well, I do think things like Carlson, things like Pyron are going to perform really well. There's some great advantages to these. Now, what they're trying to say, to the best of my knowledge, is that they want to be ASIC resistant. So still had a lot of the benefits or most of the benefits from Caspa, but also keeping it straight up GPU. And that's what this video is about, man. I'm trying to get you guys some yield, some money, some coins, whatever it is for the year 2024. Carlson has $147 million in the last 24 hours. And then Pyron over here only has 98,000. So it's quite the big difference here. And a lot more people are talking about Carlson. I think it's getting a lot more attention. If you are going to go with the Caspa Fork, I would certainly recommend Carlson over Pyron, though this could change later in the year. Maybe something big will come out with Pyron or something like that. I don't really know. One major issue that these Caspa Forks are having, though, is the selling pressure from the miners. So what that means is basically there's not a lot of people buying up these coins. Now, originally there was for the first 24, maybe even 48 hours, but ever since, man, miners are just selling and selling and selling, and it's just crashing and crashing and crashing the price. So we're gonna need some price discovery. I don't really know where that price discovery comes for Carlson and Pyron. Definitely, I understand where it comes for Caspa, but I'm not really sure who's going to be buying these coins. Do keep that in mind. They are very profitable, though, even at late 2023. At number 9 is Ravencoin. Now, this one has seen multiple bull cycles. A lot of people are familiar with this. It is ranked 166, so it's top 200 coin. It definitely has a lot more room that it could potentially grow. It's at about 2 cents. Its all-time high was over a quarter, so there's certainly 10x potential with it. Not saying that will actually happen. The problem is, though, it is kapow. So for a lot of miners, this might not be the best option. It's going to use a lot more wattage, a lot more power. Your energy bill is going to go up. However, that's only for NVIDIA. If you have AMD, these cards are going to perform extremely well. In fact, you're going to see a couple things throughout this video that run off of either ProgPow, CupPow, other variations of that, and I think there's no issue for AMD. So shout out to the AMD folks. If that's you, let me know in the comment section below. Definitely, you're going to have a good time using CupPow. So like I said, Ravencoin's at about 2 cents, give or take. If this thing 10x's, which it could, the yield is extremely high for this. Nobody's talking about Ravencoin. Nobody's thinking about Ravencoin. As far as the actual Ravencoin project, they're not really doing anything, just to be upfront with you. But at the same time, I mean, history has been really good for Ravencoin. I remember 2021 bull run leading up to their halving, in which they're going to have another halving. Guess what? During the bull run, I would not be surprised if there was a lot of money to be made with Ravencoin, because the yield is just stupid high right now. And again, nobody thinks about it. Nobody talks about it. Would not be shocked. But the project itself doesn't really do that much anymore. At number 8 is ChlorAI. Now, this is a personal favorite of mine. I've been calling this out when it was well below the top 1,000. I don't even think it was a top 2,000. When I start talking about it, it might have been like a $5 million market cap. It was really, really tiny. Currently at 10 cents. We have seen recently, though, a high of 27 cents, and this thing is booming. Do not sleep on ChlorAI. Now, same thing as Ravencoin here. It is going to be a kapow algorithm. This is really good for GPU miners, right? The reason is because it's ASIC resistant. So you know you're always going to have a home with it. But why I think this is a much better play than something like Ravencoin is because of this 2 letters right here. These 2 letters, AI. Now, does it actually do artificial intelligence? Kinda, not really. But it has a marketplace, right? And they kind of present that. So you have to look into it more, right? I definitely do your due diligence with it. But it certainly has the narrative, and it certainly could go up simply because of the story behind it. There's a lot more things going on. You should check out the roadmap sometime. It's been going on a lot more exchanges as well, actively being developed. I've tried to interview this project. They weren't having it. But ChlorAI is a solid pick. Again, especially if you have AMD, I probably wouldn't throw my NVIDIA cards on here. I pretty much can never recommend on anything Kapow or ProgPow with NVIDIA cards unless the thing goes to the moon. I've seen it done, right? You can get away with it. You can run maybe like a 3070, a 3060 Ti at around 120, 130 watts. You can get away with that, kind of like the Ethereum numbers if you remember those numbers. But at the end of the day, man, I certainly think you should not sleep on ChlorAI. There's a lot of stuff coming up for this on its roadmap. Do not skip out. At number 7, we have NurAI. Now, this one has really been getting mainstream attention, not as far as like CNBC or anything, but this is actually getting signed for a tier 1 exchange. So they say by the end of this year, 2023, going into 2024, they not only have locked down a tier 1, but they claim that it is locked in and the contract is signed, but they're just waiting to announce. Now, is it going to be Coinbase? I doubt it. Is it going to be Crypto.com? I doubt it. But they did say tier 1. So I'm expecting something like a Kraken. I'm expecting something like a Binance. Something big, right? It better not be tier 2 because that's what they said. So currently this is ranked 501. So similar to ChlorAI, it came out at a very similar time as well. I think actually a little bit later than ChlorAI, but it seems to be getting a little bit more traction. Now, one thing to consider, the hash rate is certainly going up with this one. It is not to the moon quite yet, but a lot of people are talking about NurAI. ChlorAI, not as much, right? But NurAI, a lot of people are focused on this. The current price of this, I don't even know how to say this, is 0.0055, the all-time high, which is actually not very far from. I'm waiting for a breakout on both of these coins, is 0.0064. So not too far off on this. If you're trying to get a bunch of coin, maybe ChlorAI is the best. However, NurAI may have more potential. At the end of the day, being ranked 501, that's actually not that high. Until we start getting to the rank 200s and above, I think there's tons of room and tons of potential for NurAI.
Number 6 on our list is Radiant. Now, do not get confused. There are a lot of Radiants or things that sound similar. The code is RXD if you look that up on CoinGecko or something. At rank 805. You're a little bit late to the game on this one. I will admit that simply because there's FPGAs taking over. But at the same time, even with the FPGAs, the hash rate is still really low. And you can easily get 100,000 Radiant moving forward. At the making of this video, Radiant is well under a penny. So a lot of room to still grow. I mean, I definitely think this will be a top 500, if not a top 400 coin at 0.0019. The algorithm, a little bit different than the other algorithms on this list, which is SHA-512. So a Bitcoin fork, right? If you know SHA-256 from Bitcoin, it's going to be like that, similar, but not exactly. Just check it out. It's definitely worth your time. I think easily you'll get 100,000 coins without even trying. It's a no-brainer to at least have 100K of it or 50K going into the bull run. And why not, right? You never know what could happen with something like this. Now, if you're looking for a full detailed explanation of Radiant, I did interview the team. Check that out in the YouTube channel. You'll be able to learn everything you ever wanted to about Radiant. But basically, they're trying to make a better version of Bitcoin, whatever that means to you. They're going for transactions, bottom line, right? And there's not going to be anything fancy with this one. They're just trying to make a quicker, more, maybe you could call it useful version of Bitcoin. And that's the bottom line, man. At the end of the day, is it super sexy? No, it's not super sexy, but it does what it's supposed to do. Transact, right? Bottom line. The trilemma. Does it solve all of them? I don't know. I'll let you decide that, but it certainly has its purpose and it's definitely going to do well. I can say definitely not financial advice, but I do think Radiant will do really well coming into the bull run.
At number 5 is something you probably have already heard about, Flux. Now, why am I putting Flux on here? The yield is still really massive. I think it has a lot of potential. A lot of people are sleeping on Flux. After the Ethereum merge, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about Flux, and everybody was talking about Ergo. And now, basically, after they're halving, it's really hurt the price, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into all of that. But recently, it's been getting some traction. The reason is because of its proof of useful work. In fact, when you look on what to mine, you're not going to see its old algorithm. You're just going to see it proof of useful work. Whatever that is supposed to mean as far as algorithm, I don't know. But the rank is 197. So this is not a small fry. This is a top 200 coin. They are traveling around a lot. I think there's a lot of mainstream potential, and that's not just like in the GPU miners. I think they're more for the tech savvy people. I mean, who doesn't want to get involved with AI or rendering or something like this, right? You always want to ask yourself, what does my coin actually do? Is there a use case? They're working on medicine. They're working on other types of projects. You can rent this. They just launched their marketplace. Now it is in alpha, so that is something you have to consider as well. But hopefully by Q1, maybe even Q2 of 2024, the actual sales from the marketplace, you should be able to see. So you'll be able to mine it. They're doing a lot of things. They've got nodes. They're trying to work on WordPress a little bit. I mean, they're doing a million things all at once. So at times that can get a little bit overwhelming, totally understandable. But the one that I'm excited about and I think has the most potential is the proof of use work. Flux is currently trading at just 65 cents. Recently, this was as low as 30 cents when everybody still wasn't talking about it, and it just doubled. Now, how much longer or how many times is this going to 2, 3, 4, 5x? The all-time high was $4.17, and I remember this. Now, it has seen a bull run before, so which means in your eyes, hey, this is possible. I've seen this before. Can it go there again? I certainly think it can get back up to $4.17 this next bull run because it is built up way more now than it was back in 2021, 2022. Before there were just talks of something called proof of use for work. Now they're actually implementing it or giving us the alpha, and soon we'll get the beta, and soon it'll go live, and all the miners will get lots of great rewards, hopefully anyways, from that. One thing to consider, it is higher wattage. It's not quite as bad as something as Kapow. It's definitely not as low as something like, I don't know, a lithium or something, which we'll talk about later in this video. So it's kind of in the middle. It uses a lot of watts, but not too many watts. Not bad at all for NVIDIA, and not great on AMD, but not bad at all either way. Whichever one you want to do, Flux is pretty solid. Number 4 on our list. I know a lot of you are going to be really happy about this one. Nexa. Now you can get a bunch of coins. I actually just outright purchased $1,000 worth a couple months ago and got 250 million. That's right, 250 million coins. Now you could really like this number or you could not, but I'm telling you, it's pretty solid. It does use Nexa POW though, so I'm just gonna add POW to the end here. Nexa POW. So a lot more wattage. You definitely got to consider that. And I don't know if this one's for everybody, kind of like some of the other Kapows or prop POWs in general, but certainly a lot of people aren't talking about Nexa. They have talked about Nexa, but you really want to think about what is the thing that's going to yield me the most, because the end game is the year 2025. That's when the bull run comes, man. And something like Nexa, I mean, you can get in for super cheap. Let me put the price right now. It's kind of hard to write. 0.0008177. At least that's what I remember off the top of my head. That's a lot of zeros, right? This thing can 10x kind of just like that, real quick. And that's what you should be looking for. Maybe a 10x, 100x if it goes over just 2 times. I think it's very possible. Why is that? The rank is very small still at only 783. Sorry for my handwriting. Rank only 783. Again, a lot of potential with Nexa, man. I've seen this in some of the bigger YouTubers, not the massive ones, but a lot of people are certainly aware of Nexa and kind of what it does. I think that's a good thing. There's hundreds of thousands of coins out there. There really is. And so, you know, what are the ones that people are really looking at? If you're a GPU miner, you're going to have to look at some of these plays. You're going to have to hold these plays. If you sell on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to make a lot of money. You're just not. You might make 20% here, 30% there. But we're looking for that 5, 10, 20x potential. Certainly, Nexa has that 100x potential. Not saying that will actually happen, not financial advice, but I do think it is very possible for something like Nexa. At number 3, if you've been mining in the year 2023, trust me, you know all about Dynex. In fact, they have an amazing new commercial. I'm actually just going to play it for you right now.
You know quantum computers. You know blockchain. But do you know both together? Dynex was the first platform to create a neuromorphic supercomputing blockchain-based algorithm which solves real-world problems. And the best part? Anyone can post a job, whether a company from the Global 2000, a machine learning job, or fintech and pharmaceutical. And if you don't want to program it yourself, get an expert directly at the marketplace. Run the job and be impressed by the fast result.
So hopefully that commercial explained Dynex better than I ever could. Currently, it is ranked 509. I definitely think Dynex has a lot of potential. I mean, it's a top 3 for me personally, right? So again, I didn't try to put these in any order, but I think if any of these have a chance, certainly it is Dynex. At one point, before all these little Caspa Forks and little hype beasts coming out with all these, again, Pyrans and Carlson and everything, Dynex was the play. 1 in 4 GPU miners were mining on Dynex. Now, why is this? The neuromorphic, whatever, right? Basically getting all our GPUs together. Now, is Dynex ASIC resistant? Technically, it is not ASIC resistant, but it does favor GPUs. Is it impossible to have an FPG on here? Absolutely not. I've asked Sumi. He is one of the co-founders of, or co-creators, however you want to say that, for Dynex. He said, no, it's not ASIC resistant, but if you put an ASIC on it, it won't do well. It actually favors the chips in graphics card, which is a huge W for everybody. Another amazing thing about Dynex is it's very low wattage. That's what we're all about. almost ASIC resistant, kinda, but not really, right? But you don't have to worry about ASICs plus low wattage. You really can't find that too many other places. Some of the other coins on this list are very low wattage, but not ASIC resistance. This has both. This is a perfect median. And it has proof of useful work, which is amazing, right? They just launched their marketplace, in fact, which I've been looking at, and it seems pretty freaking cool. Some of the things they're doing, they're showing us some of the jobs they're doing. You got to check it out, man. It's really awesome stuff. I love what we're seeing from Dynex. This is a sleeper at just 67 cents. I've been calling this one out since I think 20 cents when it rode all the way up to its all-time high of $1.27. Again, it's cooling off. The reason it's cooling off because of these Caspa Forks. So while little Timmy's out there trying to make $1 or $2 off these little Pyron plays, little Caspa wannabe things, you got to be thinking about what's going to yield me the most. And I'm telling you right now, not financial advice again, but I really think at 67 cents, man, mining a bunch of this, Dynex, this is too easy. This has got the AI narrative, the render narrative, again, GPU mineable for you guys for the long term. There's a lot of potential with Dynex. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of Dynex is that we don't really know who the people are behind Dynex. Not saying that you have to reveal yourselves. I'm not saying, it's definitely not a scam or anything, but it's kind of weird in that sense. But besides that, man, I think it's the only thing really holding Dynex back, because I don't know if major companies are going to want to work with Dynex when they are secretive. I just got to be upfront about that. At the same time, they might show who they are. They might be revealing who they are in secret under NDAs. I don't really know all the details of all that, but I do know that I really like Dynex. Number 2 on my list is Conflux. This one is a big deal, guys. Believe it or not, this is rank number 89. Still mineable, thankfully, still mineable. But it is on the Octopus algorithm. Now, I did mine this the other day. It was okay. It uses a lot of watts. So keep that in mind, man. It's quite annoying to mine in that sense. But it has a lot of potential. Some people are calling this the Ethereum of China. Is that true or not? I don't know. This is more for the Chinese side, though. Right? But more people are going to use this in China without a doubt. That's a massive market, man. Most people are going to be living over there in China or somewhere in that Asian area, right? That's a big deal over there. It might not be a big deal for you and I, but it has a lot of potential. What I think is actually going to happen, I've been saying this for a couple months now, what I think is actually going to happen, when the bull run comes, I would not be surprised if China all of a sudden took away the ban, because this is what they like to do in China. They say, crypto's banned. Oh, no, it's not. Crypto's banned. Oh, no, it's not. Now it's banned right now. Guess what's going to come up? More than likely. Oh, no, it's not. And that's what I think we're going to see one more good time. And then guess what? During the bear run, it's all scam. It's banned. We're going to just go back and forth. So definitely there's a lot of potential with Conflux. A lot of people are aware of it being a top 100 coin. What does that mean? When the big YouTubers look at it, when the big people look at it and they look at the rank 100, you're going to see Conflux pop up. You're not going to see most of these other coins, at least not at the making of this video at the end of 23, going into 24, come up on their 100 watch list. But Conflux pops up all the time for them. They're going to be, Conflux. Interesting. There's actually not that many coins in the top 100 at the moment that are proof of work, and it kind of seems to be going that direction more and more. Proof of stake is just taking over. I don't want to get into why it's taking over as much, but believe it or not, the narrative is out there that proof of work is bad for the environment. I know, shocking, right? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I personally don't think it's that bad, but it is what it is, right? The media sure seems to think so. So proof of stake is pushed forward more and more and more. So it's really nice. I like to root for Conflux. I hope it does well. And obviously it's doing well. This is not some small market cap, right? At the same time, the hash rate is fairly low. We did see a massive spike up about a couple weeks ago, but recently there's not been a massive spike up. It's pretty much all cooled off, and you can get a lot more of that Conflux before the bull run. Getting into it, I think this is a sleeper for sure. You're going to want to have some Conflux. Even if you just have to buy it, do something, man. Trust me. You're going to want to get a little bit of Conflux at the minimum. And now my number 1 pick is going to be none other than Alium. By the way, please like this video and consider subscribing. Rank number 485. So a top 500 coin. This isn't the bottom of the 1,000. This is the top, though, either. It's not the top 100 either. I think it's a really good mix. Enough people know about it, but not too many people know about it at the same time. It's currently at 98 cents. It did hit an all-time high recently, or get really close to its all-time high, which is $1.68. Now, if you look, though, the $1.68 came when it first launched, and it went down. I think this is really normal. That just means people wanted to sell when they first got in. Now, Alium uses the Blake 3 algorithm. What does this mean? Super attractive for miners. I mean, very, very low. This is one of the lowest using watts and going to save you a bunch of money in power if you are mining Alium. That is a huge pro. What does that also mean? that means that it's not ASIC resistance, which is kind of a bummer at the same time. That being said, though, this is where I think a lot of the potential comes for Alium, is the fact that I personally think that we are going to get ASICs on this. If and when we get like a Bitmain ASIC or some massive ASICs, right now there are FPGAs, but I'm talking about the big boy ASICs, and you are no longer being able to mine this, I think the coin is just going to shoot up, right? You see this all the time. You've seen this with almost all of the ASICs, whether there's a short term or the long term. Some of them have worked out, like for Caspa, and a lot of them have not worked out, like for Cadena. But I personally think a lot of really good things for Alium are coming. Now, its block times are certainly going down. I saw something on their Twitter. They're going to go from 64 to about 16 blocks, and that is happening really soon, if not already being tested at the making of this video. Once we get down below 16, I mean, we're in competition with potentially even Caspa. I don't know if that's going to happen, right? But we could be, right? And I think there's a lot of things to look forward to when it comes to the Blake 3 algorithm. As far as the hash rate, yes, it is up. It is not shooting to the moon, but it is certainly up. And again, I'm looking at this one as like, dang, dude, if you've already missed the boat on Alium, you're going to at least want something moving forward. Something, right? At the same time, when I got involved with Caspa, a lot of people got involved with Caspa. It might have felt like it was too late, but I guess what? You wish you probably had a lot more Caspa from your GPU mining. I bet you this is kind of a similar situation that's going to happen with Alium and a lot of others for these lists that could potentially go ASICs. Once they go ASIC, man, forget about it. You're not going to get it. So why not put a rig on it? Why not throw a GPU at it? Why not try to buy some or get some of these coins? I definitely recommend at least looking into this list. So that's going to be my top 10 GPU mineable coins. Let me know if you would have changed the order of any of these. I actually didn't try to put them in any specific order, but it would have been kind of weird if I just started naming 10 coins without saying like number 1, number 10. I don't really necessarily think number 1 is number 1 and number 5 is number 5. It is what it is. I just put them in some kind of order. Let me know what you would add to the list. I'm also thinking about doing some other things, like maybe you want to see a proof of stake list. Maybe you want to see under $1. Maybe you want to see under $100 million market cap. Definitely let me know. There's all types of potential with these style videos. And also let me know, did you like this whiteboard? Is this interesting for you? Or do you want to see me sit at my desk like you see every other YouTuber? Anything is fine. I don't care either way. Let me know, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. DJ Mines, signing out.